Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We're getting ready to get started in just about 30 seconds. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We got our incredible panelists in the building. Guys, as you're coming in, go ahead, spread that wealth. Let others know that you're here in the building with us. Our amazing panelists will be sharing to their platforms as well, so we can bring everybody to the yard and to the building. Okay, it's about to go all the way down, and we're getting ready to have a phenomenal conversation on tonight. All right, so Instagram is doing something a little crazy. I don't know if anybody has done their live stuff on Instagram, but it's tripping. Anyway, well, good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's doing some kind of weird update, but y'all know how social media it is. It's always updating or doing something. But anyway, welcome into this week's edition of the Hot Seat. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown, and as always, we have a phenomenal panel of thought leaders with us on tonight. We got a few more panelists that will be popping in throughout the course of the conversation, but we're getting ready to dive right into this conversation on tonight. You guys are familiar with Taylor Made in the building, Toxic Bay himself, brazen the roof of toxicity all over the world, nationwide, and the DOC is in the building on tonight, Dr. Woods. So we're going to get this party started. So every single season, we take a chance to go into the DMs and see what people are talking about. People always send questions while we're live streaming. They always have something to say, something they want to ask. Well, why is this and why is that? And so on and so forth. So most people don't want to ask it while we're hot in the thick of things on the show. So they ask it where? In the DM. So we're going to go to some questions from the DM. We had quite a few questions, but we wanted to pick out a few that were a little bit interesting to have some conversations with about tonight, rather. So we're getting ready to get right into it. And so this is going to be interesting. I just want to see what everybody's thoughts are about these questions. I was like, this is interesting. So here's one that kind of took me kind of like, this is one I always kind of be like, I don't
do you want our honest answers tonight?
Yes, because this is one I really don't like to get involved in, but it is a really legitimate question. And I'm sure a lot of people in this scenario, they kind of really want some honest answers to this thought. So the individual says, I am going through a divorce. We've been separated 4 years. I feel single. Can I, quote, say that I am single, end quote, while pursuing a new relationship? This person is married. They have been going through a divorce for the past 4 years. And they want to know, is it okay for me to identify myself as single while pursuing other opportunities relationally?
I say no. Because you're starting out the whole relationship with a lie. You have been out there on your own, you're separated. There's a reason after 4 years you haven't signed the paperwork. There's a reason there. I don't know if it's monetary or if there's some emotions there or the kids, but that person you're dealing with needs to know full disclosure. So it's starting out with a lie because you're not single. You are still married. Now, if you tell them and they still choose to mess with you, all power to them. I'm not mad either way because you have been by yourself for 4 years. But telling them you're single is starting out the relationship in a lie.
Taylor, what you think?
100% I agree. I mean, what does the legal document states? That you are married. So I think that is best because I used to be married. And I'm divorced, and I would tell people when I was dating that, hey, I am separated pending a divorce. And I would say, hey, also, I take it a step further. If you want proof that I'm separated, I have the document, right? Yeah, because some people are separated or they might tell you they're separated and they're not, right? And so I would always reassure that I'm, pending a divorce, because you got to put that in there. Yeah, anybody could be separated. You could be separated because you had an argument and you guys get back together. But I'm separated, pending a divorce, and here's my documentation to show proof. So no, if you are married, you are married until the judge signed the documentation.
And with so many people nowadays, I've heard it 25 billion times. He said he was separated. Now, the people who are really separated trying to move on with their life can't, because all the people who lied. And then over here, you got the people, who are out here trying to play the field, messing up any potential. Because people are scared to even date separated because the world's full of liars. And nobody, but don't start it out with a lie. If that's what it is, that's what it is.
So in essence, kind of like based on your responses, it sounds like people need to just chill while they're separated.
No. I'm not gonna say that either.
Okay.
No, because that's a lonely existence. Imagine this man. Like I said, there's man and woman. I don't know who it was, but there's
this is a female. This was a female.
There is some reason they have not signed that paper yet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what it is. Maybe because as a veteran, I know if I got divorced, I would lose a big chunk of my paycheck. So it would be beneficiary for.
Look at Taylor.
because I wasn't gonna say it in details because we're recording. So, but everything he says, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
You concur, Taylor.
it'll be big. Like if we sign them papers and I don't have nobody else to go to, or she don't have nobody else to go to, we cutting a big chunk of our money out. So monetarily, it makes more sense. But people don't understand that. They're not thinking about these different circumstances. They're thinking you playing the field or you doing somebody dirty. No, that's why I said go in there and just be honest. If they choose to deal with you, they choose to deal with you. If they don't, it wasn't meant for you.
All right, so we're moving on to the next question. Now, this is a juicy one, y'all. This one is real juicy.
I'm trying to behave tonight, man.
Listen, this one right here might cause you to not behave. This might be the one. I am currently sexually active with more than one person, but I am not committed to anyone. Do I have to divulge this information?
Ooh.
Taylor, look at him eyes. Taylor looking like,
Hold on, read it one more time.
I am currently sexually active with more than one person, but am not committed to anyone. Do I have to divulge this information?
Taylor, you go ahead and hit that one first.
Come on, Taylor, because Taylor hit somebody.
I hit it. I hit it. Come on, let's just be honest. Like when you're on a dating website, right, and you're talking to multiple people, is that the first conversation you have with the person? Hey, I'm talking to multiple guys. No, it's just something that's automatic. If you are talking to me, and if it's friends with benefits, guess what? There's kind of a rule with friends with benefits, right? Or if there's no commitment, there's some kind of rule. I don't ask you your business. You don't ask me my business. And we're only living in the present, which is the present moment of the agreement. So
like that afternoon, that evening, the present moment could be like this next 2 hours.
Wait a minute, Taylor. So you basically what you're saying is if I'm just kicking it, whatever, and I'm sleeping with Tom, Harry, Jack, Jim, and Bill, all that's none of your business, is what you're saying.
Unless you ask me.
Keyword. I don't know, man. I'm not with my man on this one, man, because I don't want to end up on Maury and sitting there asking I'm 1 out of 25 or something like that. So it depends what the circumstances are. Like, I have a friend, they out here, they do what they do. I'm not mad at them. You know what I mean? But but when it comes down, one person is just knocking, rocking boots, and the other one's making love all in the sheets. So I'm not going to try to lead nobody on. So, if the relationship feels different, if we both have an understanding, maybe. But if there's no understanding, I don't want to be led on. I'm not going to want to lead somebody on.
But there's no relationship. Keyword. It's not a relationship.
People be playing that. They use that as an excuse. I'm saying me and Koffe, we cool, we just friends, platonic, ain't never been nowhere, ain't going nowhere, but we're in a relationship. Our relationship is called friendship. So there's always some form of relationship in it.
All I know is everybody on this call have not disclosed everything to a person that they were talking to.
I'm saying, but when you go to that next level, I don't know, maybe because I
But
know
Koffe didn't say that,
a
though.
one night stand.
Koffe
No,
didn't
but
say.
it said I am currently sexually active with more than one person, but not committed. Do I have to divulge this information?
We don't know enough about it though, because has she been talking? Is she dating one dude? Okay, like I'm just gonna be real tonight, right? So I'm at the carnival the other night with my family. We out here. I'm trying to win the missus some stuffed animals and stuff, right? I'm saying me and the gentleman next to me look to the right and we see a booger wolf. Y'all know what a booger wolf is?
No.
I'm saying a booger wolf is a creature of the night. Like Little Wayne is a booger wolf, right? And this booger wolf had this fine lady with him. You know what I'm saying?
So a booger wolf is a guy that's not attractive?
Women, man, ain't no, I'm saying, you're a booger wolf.
You're just not attractive, period.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, because you could be a 4 and be okay. We're talking about this dude has some deformities, but his woman looked like a model straight off the video set. All right. So to her, they could just be friends. Because I know that, man. I told my kids, this is how you get a woman, man. Just have all them you want. They don't care what you look like. But to him, that could have been his main boo. And don't play that, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell him what's up. He's still probably going to take you. There's sugar daddies out there. They know what they're doing. But if you're going to have 50 partners, you should respect me enough to be like, hey, man, I'm kicking it with somebody else. You ain't got to give all the specifics, but at least let them know so they can make a choice. Something's only wrong when you take away somebody's choice, man.
Now, you know what, Taylor? Now, I will say this, and I don't know if Jason can chime in because Jason over there on the highways and byways and stuff.
I don't know. I ain't talking to Jason right now anyway, right? Because, a couple weeks ago, he didn't even call a brother back.
He ain't called a brother back a couple weeks ago? And you tripping about this from a couple weeks ago? Ain't y'all getting ready to write another book together?
Write another one.
Another one.
And I'm trying to put this man on. He ain't gonna call me back. I thought we were better than that.
Why you had to put my business out on international airwaves there, bro?
On international airwaves, I was waiting on you. I was all stood up. I was over there in Trinidad and Tobago looking stood up like a date. I'm like, I don't know. Just bring me some butter, please.
that really was a slip of my mind. I completely forgot about that one, to be honest with you.
I'm calling Pete to make sure you okay. Is he okay, man? I'm more worried about your health. Is he okay, man? I'm just wondering. He didn't show up at all. I thought he would at least hit me up and say, hey, man.
Do you see how sad this is, Taylor? You see how sad this is? We try to find out.
People, but I had to give him a hard time because I haven't talked to him since. So I gotta give him a hard time.
But I think this is a sticky question because it's a very sticky question. But here's where my concern lies for something like this, guys. When it comes to sex is more than I'm talking to Taylor, I'm talking to Adrian, and I'm talking to Jason. Talking to Jason, talking to Taylor, talking to Adrian, and not swapping DNA, that's a whole different scenario. But if I am swapping DNA and I'm intimate with all these different individuals, I am not only putting myself at risk and in harm's way, I'm putting all these different people at risk. And I do think in order for somebody to be able to make a well-informed decision as to whether or not they want to be a part of a harem, they need to know that they are part of a harem. Because when I don't know something and then I find out something later down the road, we never know how a person is going to react to that information is what my concern would be. Because toxic bait. I mean, Taylor, you the king of toxic bait information.
Yeah, but I think that because I was in law enforcement, we're talking about divulging an information. Is the person required to divulge that information if you're not?
No, there's not a requirement. There's a hope of integrity, though.
Yeah,
no, 100%. Well, 100% in everything that we do, right? To be honest, to be upfront, to divulge that, you might have a child on the first date, but people don't, right? So it's one of those things on you have to take the responsibility to ask the question. It's not for the person that's not divulging it. Is for the person that needs to know. So if you need to know if you're talking to somebody, right? Yeah. And you want to know if and there's no commitment, we just chilling, we kicking it, but you want to know if this person is sexually active, then I think that's a conversation to be asked, not to expect it to come out, right?
Gotcha.
So that's just my
But
2 cents.
my whole thing is, but when things slip, people, I have been, trying to be like P. Koffe when I grow up, and I've been life coaching the last 6 months, and I've ran into all types of people. People are into things that we're not aware of, or you may never have been aware of. And what you need to learn is when you're open with people, they will be more open to scenarios that you never aware, that you never thought could happen. But when you lie and then they got to find out later, that's when the anger comes in. That's when the distrust comes in. Sometimes you can tell a young lady, hey man, I'm kicking it with 2 others right now. She may be down with that. She may, but hey, but you at least gave her the choice before you put her in that situation.
Y'all, look who in the building.
Is that Charles Dixon? I ain't talking about these brothers no more, man.
Charles, what's up? What's up,
everybody?
Taylor, you
Chuck
can be
D,
cool. Chuck D.
Chuck D in the building. What's up, Chuck D?
DJ Yellow over there.
What's going on?
What's going on, my brother? You been good?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. Everybody looking well tonight.
That's what's up. Charles, we over here having a fight, and maybe you can help us. Maybe you can be the ref in the ring, Charles. Charles, with StreamYard, you have to actually share it on your page. It's not, I can't tag you like on the other platforms, so you have to share it on your page. But here's the question on the table. We're doing questions from the DM tonight. So the question on the table is, I am currently sexually active with more than one person, but am not committed. Do I have to divulge this information?
But she's not committed?
Right. Do I have to divulge this information?
I mean, I think honestly speaking, when you meet people and when it's kind of like disclosed that, we're dating, but we're not exclusive, we're just basically hanging out, then it should be inclined in your mind that you don't know what that person is doing or capable of doing. So I wouldn't even ask the question unless if you practicing, of course, safe sex for your benefit. But I wouldn't indulge off into it unless we were committed or getting to be committed, that kind of thing.
So you and Taylor agree, and me and Dot Woods kind of saw it from a different angle, because I get what y'all are saying, because the operative word here is the divulge. That's the operative word.
Right.
So, Taylor's, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but Taylor was right in that if it's something that you have to know, then you have to ask.
Yeah,
and
for sure. For sure.
And the hope is that the person that you're asking tells the truth.
But my thing is, why do you have to ask? Why couldn't you just say I'm dating or I'm kicking it with other people? You don't got to give me details. You ain't got to give me all the names, but at least I know. Like if I run into you at the mall with somebody else, I ain't about to set it off because.
But who cares about that part? We talking about the sex. This person said, "I'm not committed. I'm out here letting people get it."
You're thinking about it. Me and you could be knocking boots all day, and it means nothing.
Right.
I'm saying I'm knocking down no girl down the street, even though I didn't say we together. I didn't say I love you. I didn't say But to her mentality, because we're knocking boots, we're together. You know what I mean? You don't know what somebody else is thinking. And so that could put you in all kind of predicaments because he just that's true. That's going somewhere else though, Taylor, because women do have a tendency to think they're in a relationship and they're not.
100%. And guess what? That's not my fault.
Correct.
But if you didn't tell him, it is your fault. But if you say,
no,
hey,
it's not my fault. It's not my fault to conduct myself accordingly because of your interpretation. If I told you that we're not in a relationship and you believe we're in a relationship, who fault is that? It ain't my fault.
But if you treat her like you're in a relationship, if you going over there, she cooking you food, you
that's a different scenario though. But that's a whole
we're not saying that we meet at the 8:45 and knock boots and leave and we don't talk or nothing. You had to have a conversation. You didn't find this chick on 1-800 Craigslist. You talked to her.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying?
But
you're talking to her.
But if nobody's committed, that means because see, this is what I love about conversations. We can make it to what we wanted to answer our question. So I'm going to make it to what I wanted to answer my question. Okay. If we are not committed, that means that there's an understanding with everyone that I'm talking to. Correct. Because that's the scenario that was given. Now we could say, oh, we went out to dinner, we went to the movies, we went to Vegas, we did all this stuff. we are not committed. Now, the onus is not on me to say I'm doing too much and I need to pull back because this girl here on the left side is thinking that we're in a relationship. This girl over here thinking that we want to get married. This girl, we are not in a relationship, point blank, no matter
My brother,
what.
how old are you? How old are you, my brother? Like, you know, I'm
I mean,
42.
age is us. It's kind of the same
Okay, so
age.
I'm 42. I'm thinking you're around the same age. When was the
Yeah.
last time you heard somebody ask someone, "Do we go together?" You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, they don't do that anymore. There's a time they just say, "Hey, we together." You know what I'm saying? And we riding this ride out together. So if you don't say, "Hey, I'm kicking it with other people," you know what I'm saying? If you don't put that in writing in form, but they gonna think they're allowed to think whatever they want to. And
it depends on how we meet too. Because if I'm meeting somebody on a dating website, let's just be honest. This is 2022.
We're talking that they're talking to other people.
Thank you. We're talking to multiple
you
people.
Meet somebody at the church house, the club, whatever.
I'm not meeting nobody at the church.
Me neither, Taylor. But but that's good though. That's really good though, because everybody's got some strong points on this one.
I think honestly, this is a sticky one because to be honest, this is a common approach where people will come in to the situation and they will act as if I'm cool with the arrangement until emotions get involved, like you're saying, Doc, and then all of a sudden, so Taylor, I thought you said you were going over after work today. You said like, wait a minute, I think we had rules attached to this, and it's like it slowly changes. That's why I tend to think. I don't care what people tend to say. It's like if we're human, if we're in the flesh, eventually playing the no accountability, the no connection, no big deal thing. It doesn't play off well, especially for the man, because the woman is primarily emotional. Now we got some men that are emotional too, but more than likely the woman will begin to get in the attitudinal department first before the man. If there's like this casual encounter, because after a while she's feeling like you getting something, you keep leaving, and I'm feeling empty over here. So after a while, that conversation is going to come back up to be like, so what's going on? What are we doing? And the same thing we did in the beginning, friends, right? So you got to be clear. That's why I tell you, you got to be clear up front. Don't have these alternative motives if you know you're not built like that. Don't try to play the casual game.
We're predators.
Exactly. Yeah, men saying
we're okay with it until we see it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like, okay, I have my time, but when they see you with another dude, it's gonna be a whole nother.
Yeah, because men will collect you, put you on the shelf because they don't want Doc getting to them. So I like you, but that's not enough to make you my focus. But you are good enough to put over there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a common thing.
Hey, but I think that what Miss P. Koffe Brown was asking, because I think that we can go into different areas of that question. Take feelings out. I don't care about your feelings. That's not the question.
All right, okay.
Taylor is toxic, babe, Charles.
You fall in love with me. You fall in love with me because the D is great. Who else? That's on you. The question is, should I divulge to these 7 women that I'm talking to, that I'm not committed to, that I'm having sex with other women? Should I disclose that to these women that I'm not committed to, that I'm having multiple sex?
You're the reason the 70s happened.
And my answer is, my answer is, if they ask me, I have the obligation to divulge. Sure. If they don't ask me, I don't have to say anything to any of these women.
Because ain't nobody asked me no questions. I ain't got that. So let's go on to the next question. This one is, since I got all guys, let's head on to this.
You got the wrong set of guys too.
I know for this one.
Hey, listen, it worked for me, right? How long should I wait to find out if we're in a relationship or not? I've been seeing him for 4 months now, and there is no definition. How long should I wait, or should I ask him, are we in a relationship?
Depends what your what you think. Where do you think depending what the course is going? If you feel the course is going to a relationship, you better know, or we gonna end up like the last question.
Yeah. So here's the other question, P. Koffe. What's happening during these 4 months? The typical activities, or you just dating and without the intimacy? You got to dig into a little
Well,
bit.
let's read between the lines, because we don't have no more information than what the person sent for the question, right? But it is a female, and if she's saying, there's no definition for this experience that we're in, let's just go ahead and hypothetically say that she didn't gave up the cookies, because most of the time, if there's no vagina involved, we can go a little while without we can weather a storm.
Yeah, without
we
fussing.
can work it
As
out.
soon as somebody giving up, as soon as the YMCA opens, then
it's a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah, I want to know: are we in a relationship now?
Maybe she just want to ask for money.
She wants to know when should she ask or just keep waiting it out.
Let me tell you, I posted something the other day. It's perfect for this answer. It says, if premarital sex is your thing, the time to ask the question, what are we doing here, is certainly not while you're still under the covers with them, but well before the act itself commences. What am I saying? If the deed has been done, you've already answered your question. We're having sex before clarity has been established. So basically, if she has that kind of subliminal timeline in the back of her mind, she needs to voice that before we get intimate. Don't try to trick me and date in reverse. Get the intimate part first, and then try to manipulate the get to know me part in the back end. It don't work like that, especially for men.
And they might be in your DMs after I say this, but
sure.
Once you gave up the cookie, you gave up your power anyway. Because you know what I'm saying, if that's all I'm here for, I no longer have to work for it. So you know what I'm saying, you already too late. You already too late to ask me if we're in a relationship. Because I'm gonna say, are we in a relationship? I'm gonna say, what you think? I'm like, and if they say yes, I'm gonna be like, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm saying, yeah, we're in a relationship. That just means, okay, that's what I'm just not going that road.
Taylor, chime in on this one, Taylor.
Yeah, so I think that it's really troubling to me, because I think that this can go a long time without any kind of clarity. And I think those questions should be asked earlier. Like, are you looking for a relationship? And sometimes we don't ask those questions. We just meet somebody, we go out, we hang out, and we just going with the flow, right? And I think that she should ask. I think that she should, and maybe not because maybe he's not confrontational, and sometimes that might be that question tends to kind of back men up in the corner and cause us to run sometimes. And so I think that she should ask the question, are you ready to settle down? Or are you ready to, get in a relationship with somebody? Like, what's your thoughts on it? Kind of just throw the question out there, right? Mm-hmm. And then if he goes, 100% sure, this is something that I want to settle down. I want to be with one woman, and then she can say, so what
Taylor,
about?
But Taylor, here's the next question: is that woman me?
What do you mean?
Because a guy can easily say, I want to be in a relationship, I want to be with somebody, whatever, but it might not be you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
True, 100%. Yeah. So then you ask that question. What do you think about us and with the direction that we're going? How do you feel about focusing on us or committing to one another? Right? Just ask the question. And you know what? It really bothers me, because a lot of these situations can really be solved just by talking to each other.
Communication.
But here's the key, though. It's the way that we're talking. It's not the fact that we're
it's what you're saying, how you're saying it.
It's what we're saying and how we're saying it. Because if you think, if I'm not cut and dry and straight to the point about you and me, and I'm talking in abstracts, and I do know women have a tendency to do this. We have a tendency to talk in abstract. But what do you think about this and that? Instead of saying, hey, what do you think about us in this regard? Or us as it pertains to this or that? Instead of speaking in abstracts or these universal questions, it needs to be specific to you and I. So that way there's a clear understanding. Because if a guy says, I want to be in a relationship, in the woman's brain, she thinking, we're going to be together. Yeah. And he's like, I want to be in a relationship. I ain't say I want to be one with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's true.
Be convenience.
It's true.
Yeah.
It could be a situationship.
Exactly. So if the questions are not asked specifically geared towards you and I, then there's not going to ever be any clear direction. But you know, I saw something probably a few weeks ago, and it said if you got to ask, you definitely not in a relationship.
If you can't see the signs, you're not in a relationship. If I don't talk about taking you to my mama house, if I don't let you talk to my friends, if I don't even just call to let you know where I'm going, not because you mad, because I'm just thinking like, hey man, I'm about to run over here to the south side real quick. What you gonna be doing later?
Right.
If I don't do none of that, we ain't together.
Right. If you're not including her, then it's definitely a no.
Or if I'm not making plans that include you, like man, I think like right now, what is it? March, about to be April. Man, I'm thinking about Christmas. I'm gonna go ahead on a cruise. What you think? You about thinking about rolling with me? And if I say I'm going without you, you know we ain't in a relationship.
Now that's a hardcore truth right there.
But if I ask you, what you doing? So you think about we should roll? You know, I'm thinking about you for my future.
All right. So next question: how much vanity is okay while dating?
What you mean as in vanity?
Is it okay to keep a strong focus on physical looks?
I believe you should, but not like where it's the vain. It gives me that egotistical, selfish kind of look to me. Like, but you should care about how you look. You should. I've always said this. Some men are very childish, I'm gonna say, because they be like, oh, I don't want nobody with a stretch mark or a dimple. And I say, you ain't no grown man. Because a woman's body is going to change. It's not going to be the same as it was when it's 18. As long as you ain't just letting it all go and eating 6 donuts, a Hostess cake, a pound of coffee cake at one sitting, we're going to be good. Because when you're a man and you're in love with somebody, their body's going to change. They're going to gain weight. They're going to lose weight. And all you're going to see is the person you care about. But if they just, if they were, body looking like a Coke bottle and now they look like a milk gallon, now that's too far. You know what I'm saying? So you should at least keep it up. Like, hey, I met you like this. You ain't exactly like that, but hey, man, I'm still seeing that, that goody in you.
So this is another tough question, P. Koffe, because this is the era of the snatched. And so you're not going to find too many women that you can date nowadays that, let's just say, if they have a little bit of undesirable weight on them or just a tad bit this, I don't like my stomach, I don't like this, my breast is hanging a little bit. Most women are having that conversation about going to Miami or the Dominican Republic to get an operation.
I later had a conversation.
So I'm saying that to say, how do you discuss that as it pertains to vanity versus her choice to just want to look better? So that's why I said it's kind of
like, I hate Snapchat. Snapchat is the devil.
I said this is the era of women becoming snatched. Snatched means I got the BBL, I got the operations.
What's it called, the mommy makeover?
Yeah, the mommy, they get the butt lifts, all kinds of stuff that's happening nowadays. And so women, I do believe there are women that are taking it a step above vanity, because some women may look decent already, and it's already like, okay, so what are you trying to do now? And so then you have the women that's like, look, I've had my children, I've kind of carried around this undesirable weight, I have the opportunity to do it, and I just want to feel good about myself. So, where do you draw the line when it comes to
that? And
that's a hard question, because that's a hard question. And I really don't know the answer to that, because there is this era of vanity that we're experiencing now globally, right? Where I want to look like this because this image reflects this and this image reflects that. But on the other hand, like you said, there are some women who have legitimate concerns about how they look based on some historic event. Something happened, I had this to happen or that to happen, and I want to clean this up. But it's a thin line with that. And more so than not, it's the snatch thing, not so much a person trying to, bring out their best self, more so than it is, I want to have this superficial image for as long as I can. I mean, it's the same concept as, I mean, let's keep it 100. My hair is turning white. I don't want my hair to be right now. What I do, go put some blonde in it, you know, or a guy who has, you know, his hair is all
gets
gray,
sprayed. Yeah, he
you
gets
know,
sprayed.
right. And he goes, I mean, I literally saw a guy in the barbershop the other day adding fibers to his hair because his hair was thinning.
I seen somebody get their beard painted on.
Yeah, and then it was another guy that came in after him, and they was painting his beard black.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of us have some level of vanity that we're trying to maintain, or you know, some level of youth. You know, we're trying to stay within the fountain of youth. I'm going to drink from the fountain as long as I can drink. But at some point, we have to accept the fact that our body has changed. There is a new definition. I am no longer 25. I'm going to have to really let this go and be good with, you know, where I am physically, where I am, you know, as far as my appearance and all this other kind of stuff. But I think the struggle is very real for people when it comes to aging, or when your body starts switching. I mean, when you have babies, there's nothing you can
do about it.
I can't even explain to you the kind of dramatics that your body go through with having children. It's just retarded. Like some things you're doing too much at that point, you know, but without, I don't know, that's a real sticky one, Charles. It's hard to like pinpoint that down or narrow it down to.
So here's a good particular point. So on that same note, you'll see those same women, or at least some of you have a side of them that'll say, yes, this is self-love. This is a self-love journey. And they go and have these operations. And then, so it would make you think, okay, so if this is about you feeling good about you, when it gets done and you look great, why not just be content with what you have, looking at yourself and going about your way? How come it then turns into, let me go on social media tour, let me go to Beach X, let me go to this black and white party, let me do this, let me be half naked all day, every day. So that's where the vanity part comes in. It's like, so are you doing this for self-love, or are you doing this so that you can show your love? Which one, you know?
Right. You see, people try to do too much, live your youth. What is it, glam mall? You trying to do glam malls out here.
I'm telling you.
Like I said, Snapchat is the devil. And most time I see to people who do these things, you look at their spouse, they don't look like that. And most times, most dudes I say, man, it's like, she just wanted it, man. I told her I didn't even really care. I hear that from dudes
I don't think it is. I don't think it is the guys that care. I think it's us that care. You know,
it's an unspoken competition. It's
like Kendrick Lamar said something on he said, oh my God, what was on one of his songs, I want a woman who has some stretch marks or something. I need proof that you know.
Wow.
He did. He said
he does a song that says that.
Yeah,
with some stretch marks.
Yeah, he said I want a girl with some stretch marks and a little something and whatever. But I think that we get so caught up that we don't. Somebody told us that where we are, what we dealing with, how we look just wasn't good enough. Somebody told us that.
And like, somewhere. I wouldn't even want to make the day nowadays. I wouldn't even want to date someone who from a picture on the internet.
Wow.
Snapchat have you looking all kind of buxom and beautiful, and then go up there and look like a gorilla wolf. And I'm gonna be mad.
Okay, so we're gonna get to Mitchell in real quick because Mitchell got peoples that popped in on her, so she all up on the podcast with the peoples in the background. What up, everybody in the back? What's up? What's up?
What's up,
they in the back.
What up, everybody? What up?
Hey, Miss Koffe.
All right, so hey, Chris. So here's the question. Here's the question to Mitchell. How much vanity is okay while dating? Is it okay to keep a strong focus on physical looks?
I think that if you all started out that way, if there was a heavy focus on how you look, and if this person or whoever you're with has a really, really big concern about how you look, then you're going to have to keep that same energy. I will say this is so funny. I don't know if vanity may be the right word, but I will say this. My husband was out of town for 2 weeks, right? And I know that when he came home, I wanted to have some makeup on. I wanted to have some clothes on, and I wanted to look like something. but not because I'm vain, but it's because I haven't seen my husband in 2 weeks and I just want to look like, I want to be attractive, whatever. So I think there is a level of respect that you have to have for your partner when it comes to taking care of yourself and representing your partner and looking like something. But when you get over into vanity, that's when it turns into something else, because looks can change at the blink of an eye. So if you're rooted in vanity, then you're going to be disappointed, especially when y'all get older. So I think that there's a certain level that is acceptable, but when you start getting overzealous about it and it becomes an obsession and that's all you think about or all you're focusing on, that's when it becomes an issue.
And you women have it hard. The standards for y'all are ridiculous. The women's standards are ridiculous. Because you're saying my lovely booby, you know what I'm saying? To me, she been getting kind of thick, you know what I'm saying? And I'm liking it. I'm like, So I've been calling her thickums. But then I had to remember who I was talking to.
Right.
So
right. Ain't nobody want to be called thickums.
Nobody wants to be called that. I need to use another word.
When I say the word
thickums, is what you say.
I say, you think I'm making fun of you? Something? She goes, no. Because she know my wife. Y'all ain't married to me. She knows.
Listen, Martin called Nipsey thickums in Martin. Okay, and that was not a good.
I ain't thinking about
okay,
that.
but that was not a good representation.
Around the house, and I want to see it.
Don't be calling her that.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't married to me. I know what I like.
But you did say your booby. You did say your booby. You had to remember who you was talking to. Did you not say that?
And I've been emphasized. They ain't listening to me all day because I said my woman. I had a conversation with my woman because I want her to know when I say that, it means that I'm liking what I see. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll be like, hey, go bring that thickums here. Because I want to hold it, caress it. But I'm saying I don't want her to have none of that. I don't want her to get snatched, mommy makeover, nothing, because I'm in love with what I got. You know what I'm saying? And to me, she is, what I'm saying, she is in good enough shape, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't running around no block, babe, and you ain't got to run a block, no block either. You know what I'm saying? So you are beautiful to me. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. If I ain't holding you, I ain't worried about you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Taylor, hop in, Taylor. What do you think about this concept, Taylor? Because when you deal with Toxic Bay Ministries, y'all, Taylor is the Toxic Bay expert. He literally no joke. This is what he does. He is a toxic relationship coach. No joke. No joke. So Taylor, when we talk about topics like this, I know you've addressed some of this stuff with some of the people that you've dealt with. When is it too much? When is the obsession with physical too much?
Yeah, I think that it's really sad because I think that society has now based it. You ever went to the gym, like the fellas went to the gym, and you see guys doing just one curl and they're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, for sure.
What is going on here? Yeah. Focus on the curl. Why you have to look in the mirror to see are they looking at the form? Are they looking at how their I don't know, biceps or triceps is growing or forming? And then, so is this obsession of the gym? Great, this body. And then the women with makeup, we talk about narcissists, right? And how people are full of themselves. I think that, a lot of us have a little traits of narcissism because there's women that have to get up an hour and a half just for makeup. Just for makeup, we're talking, right?
In a different world.
And look, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not bashing anyone that has to do that. I'm just saying, it becomes bad and toxic, right? When you're not able to do those things and how you start feeling and reacting, right? It's like a kid when they can't get something, how they put on a tantrum, and they start reacting. So, when maybe you can't get your hair done or your makeup is not sitting right, how is that displaying in your relationship, right? Are you now pissed off at the world? Are you treating your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, boyfriend, bad because you couldn't get, your hair appointment today, right? It's when those things are fully taking over your life, your body, how you act, how you portray yourself, where it gets really, really bad. But
you just brought up something that I know to Mitchell. To Mitchell, did you hear what he said?
Uh-oh.
Please just paraphrase real quick. What did Taylor Made say?
Somebody getting up an hour and a half early just to do their makeup.
That's not makeup, that's transformation.
Oh.
Whitney on a different world did it. Whitley would get up and do it.
No,
That's
but I mean, that is a when you just said that, Taylor, that's a dangerous bridge to be crossing relationship.
Because wait a minute, is that person doing it before you wake up so you don't see them without the makeup?
No, so I had the privilege to date somebody that this, I mean, when you're talking about her table is full of makeup. We're talking high-end makeup, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful naturally.
Absolutely. Okay.
And I'm like, why? But here's the thing. It's a choice that I had to make, that if I'm gonna indulge in this, relationship, then I have to plan everything out with an hour and a half extra in it.
Wow.
I know.
Just for her to put her face on.
Just to put her face on.
So that's not including getting dressed. That's not including
dress or anything. This is just an hour and a half for makeup.
And that's something that you're willing to deal with.
Wow.
Well, was past tense. This was way back. Yeah, this was way back. But we're not talking about makeup too. We're talking about hair too. I remember when I was married, I was young. I was 19 years old, and I helped sewed my ex hair in. Like, I know how to do weave. I know how to needle.
Hey, my brother.
I know how to take it out. I didn't know how to plait, but I know how to sew it in, right? So I knew nothing moved. Nothing moved on that Saturday until her hair was done. Period. Point blank. But I had to, it was my choice to accept that or not, right? Mm-hmm. And so I accepted it, and I was a part of the whole mission.
Wow.
That is wild. But you know what? But you know something, like, I'm glad somebody asked this question, because that is, when you really start thinking about it and we start unpacking this whole concept of vanity versus, I'm just wanting to look my best. Like what Mitchell gave a great example. She was like, when my husband was coming home, I wanted to present myself, the best version of myself. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks. I want to go all out. He just got in, whatever. But what she did not say was, I put on a whole face of makeup. I went and got some more. I went and added some hair. I went and put on my push-up. I did all. She didn't say that. She basically said, all I did was I wanted to present a great ambiance for him to experience with me. But when you start crossing over to what you're talking about, taking an hour and a half, 2 hours to put on makeup and all that, that is something going on with a woman, honestly. If a woman is doing that, something is going on.
It's a masking protocol. It's a masking.
It is. And I feel that way too. I feel like there is something a smidge deeper going on, because for me, I can put on makeup in like 5 minutes. And some days I don't put certain stuff on. Some days I'm barefaced. Like for weeks, I may go barefaced. But I feel like that there may be something that's more so underlying if it's taken that long. Not even like hiding something in a malicious type way, but there may be something dealing with a self-image.
Michael Jackson, that was a disease. The Jackson family had a disease. They did not like their appearance.
Correct.
So they kept doing changes
so
they could feel like they were attractive.
And that's the thing now too.
It's some kind of insecurity, or dig this, or it could be learned behavior too.
Yes.
It could be that person has literally been around in the women in her family. This is what they do. This is what I saw. This is what I've been taught.
Right.
And so I think this is a normal pattern of behavior. So I apply this as my normal because this is what I saw as normal. And it could literally very well be that nothing is quote unquote wrong with them, but what they had exposure to has dictated this behavior. Go ahead, Taylor.
So some folks feel safe behind layers.
Yeah, true.
So,
Go ahead, Taylor.
Well, when we talk about the entertainment business, right?
Yeah.
When we have celebrities put on a lot of makeup
Tons.
and what have you. But not only that, they get plastic surgery done. I'm gonna be transparent, right? If I was in the entertainment industry and I had to keep feeding me and my family, right, and maybe I need to lose some, something right here. Would I get it done? Maybe I need to do something because I'm getting some wrinkles. Would I get that removed? Like, it's also pressure from the industry, right? To maintain this appearance. So like the Jackson 5, yeah, they had other issues going on, but they were global. Like they had to look to par. Now, I like Michael Jackson how he was, but then when he was transforming, I'm going to be honest with you, I accepted the new look, right? That new look, but then he went off in kind of a other area that I was like, I don't know where he's going with that. But I think that say for instance, television. When we
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Say for instance, like television, right? For me, sometimes like I will put on a makeup on my face, so the lights won't bounce off of my shine. We do
skin,
that, 100%. We do that, right? But then I was like, holy smoke, this makeup looks amazing. Like I see why women wear makeup. I mean, it transforms you. And then you have guys that wear makeup outside of this, right? And then it becomes a thing. The filters on social media, like we're.
Oh, he got
kicked out. But we have become a society that is obsessed with perfection.
Right.
It reminds me of the episode of 106 in Park back in the day when LL Cool J first got his Botox and he looked like he couldn't blink the whole show. And it was like, it bothered, but it made me.
I got to go YouTube that.
I don't
remember that. I don't remember that.
I don't remember any of that. I remember Michelle falling on 106 in Park. That's the only thing I remember.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I remember that and when Lil Wayne and Baby kissed. But the point of the matter is, my thing is, this is LL Cool J. Right. This is not, you know what I'm saying, the person.
Is Uncle L. This Uncle L.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This dude has millions of women following him, and he feels that he must perfect his image and look a certain way. And that has to be that has to be stressful. And then trying to do it right. Because nothing bothers me more than them women who walk down the street, the two lines on the side of their face like this.
Yeah.
But they feel that they're attractive, even though they're looking like clowns. But they feel they're beautiful. So what about this is making them feel beautiful? And that's the crazy part.
All of this. Go ahead, Mitchell. Go ahead.
No, I totally agree with you. It's like there is a level of I swear this all goes back to social media, man. I'm sorry. I think just like the comparison kills so much joy and so much stuff in people. And I just feel like when people, I feel like that's the driver. I feel like they're seeing other people, they're seeing what's most liked, what's most shared, what most people love. And I'm going to do everything I can to emulate that so I can receive that same acceptance. Right. And it's just a continuing thing. Like if you ever watch the show Botched, those people keep coming back for surgery after surgery. And it's not because it's a physical thing. There's something internal going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that to me is extreme vanity. Right. And they judge other people based off of that too. But if you're not certain in who you are, you don't start acting and operating as if you got to be on this level of people who are shells.
Or like
good-looking shells.
You have women walking around with clothes that are not made for them. You know what I'm saying? And
that's a whole nother show, Doc.
That's a segment that we can't even get into because just
we don't even have that kind of time.
Size don't mean it's for your size.
Exactly. And but the thing is, but they feel they need to be this way to be attractive, to be wanted, to be, this person they're striving to be, which is not the case, but they're taught.
It's coming from somewhere. It's coming
part of that vanity. It's part of that vanity that, hey, I gotta show all this, even though ain't nobody want to see all that to be attractive, to somebody to love me.
But see,
They don't.
Mitchell made some, she brings up a good point. Like even if you look at who you follow on social media, right? The way that they have changed the algorithms over time, you're starting to see what your followers follow.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're following all this stuff, whatever, you end up getting exposed to it, and sometimes it can become penetrable. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, oh. Or another thing that you said earlier, Doc, that made me think, the people that are in your most intimate space, when they start saying certain things like, oh, you look like you're getting a little thick, boo, or, whatever the case might be, we have a tendency to internalize that and then act it out.
Mm.
And then you got to, then somebody, you're thinking something as a compliment, and now they're taking it as an insult because society says a whole nother thing.
Right. Society tells you that if you're not this size, then you're not acceptable. Or if you don't do this, then this is not acceptable. And so on and so forth. And you know what? I see it being inside of a high school. I see it every day. Oh my God.
I'm 205 pounds, and they told me I was overweight the other day. I said, man, come on, man. Where am I supposed to lose some more weight?
Wait, overweight, where?
Exactly. I don't know where.
Wow.
I was 190. My wife told me I was about to die. And so,
I mean, and it's so many different indicators and so many different things that we have to be so self-aware of who we are, self-aware of how the comfort level we feel within ourselves. If I don't feel comfortable with my own level of thickness, then I'm gonna make some adjustments. But I don't really care about how you feel about my level of thickness, because that's your opinion. That has nothing to do with me. Right. That's all you. That really has nothing to do with me directly. But if I'm not self-aware, and if I don't have a clear understanding of self, then maybe your words would affect me. Next thing you know, I'm on a binge fast trying to hurry up and lose 22 pounds because you said I was too meaty.
Or these parents talking to some of these children saying, hey, this is what why are you doing that? You don't want to be this, you don't want to be that. So now they got the fear in their head instead of being healthy. It's parents.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'll piggyback off of that, because even with my daughter, I was telling her, I said, listen, we got to start making better food choices. Hey, Taylor. I said, we got to start making better food choices, because you got to back up from the sugar and all these snacks, because that is unhealthy. But I'm not coming from a place of, you know what, you don't want to be on my 600-pound life. You don't want to do that. I wasn't coming from that place. Right. I'm just like, listen, you need to be healthier. I'm not going to support these type of habits, and you got to scale it back. But not in a way, like you said, Doc, that's going to make you self-conscious, because no, you are a beautiful person and you're amazing, but I don't want you to be unhealthy and see this progression and I don't say anything. I would be less of a parent if I just let you eat everything you want to eat. That's not cool.
True.
You know what I mean?
So Taylor, you got kicked out of the church? Somebody kicked you out?
No, it's just Messenger. I ignored the update, and then it just had a mind of its own.
It said, you don't disrespect me.
Oh, it said, no, you're going to take this update.
What you don't do is take this update.
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
The update don't look right. The update got some vanity, too.
Very much so. Anytime they kick you out talking about something, if you don't do what I said, then you got to, this is the results you're going to get. That's some vanity. You're right. But to Mitchell, you just said something that really, really is something that all of us can take a page from. And that is how we say something to somebody, so that it won't translate into something that we did not intend for it to be in the first place. Because you said it from a place of, hey, I want to make sure you succeed by way of your health. And you didn't go to the extremity of, if you don't do this, then you're going to have that. If you don't, because people will say that. They will project onto you whatever their issue is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people have a horrible tendency of projecting stuff on
They do. If you coming in like a wrecking ball, kids, spouse, nobody's going to take it. So if, for me, I'm like, hey, for the next 30 days, we can do this together. Let's do it. Let's walk. Let's make it happen. You can work out. Let's work out together. So it's not more of a delegation. You do this, but it's more of a partnership. And I want to see you win. That's how I kind of presented it. So yeah.
Exactly. Well, y'all, it is already at the top of the hour. We literally only got to 3 questions.
That was quick.
Right.
We should
That went by.
Y'all must have been talking.
Well, because some of the questions were good. They were good enough to have a longer dialogue than just 5-10 minutes. It turned out to be where it's like, dang. So you think that's what I love about the power of people asking questions, because you never really know what somebody is thinking until somebody poses that question. You put it out there, and then people can get the information that they need. So, and it was good because I love the fact that the guys didn't all think alike. It wasn't everybody was like, oh yeah, I agree with him. Oh, I agree with him. It was everybody had a different perspective and a different take on what the person was experiencing. But overall, I think the biggest consensus was the person that was going through a divorce saying that they were separated for 4 years, wanting to be able to identify as single. And Taylor and Doc Woods, they came across. I mean, they just laid the hay down.
You're not. That's my short answer. You're not single.
Yeah, and that's what they said. They were like, that is not something to do. It's not healthy. And it's also a dangerous way of existing, because you're walking into a relationship lying out the starter gate. But Taylor brought it down to another point that you rarely hear a guy say. Taylor said, and if you need documentation, I have it. I have proof of where I am in the relationship. I have proof that I'm separated. I have proof that I am in pursuit of a divorce. Because people can say, oh, I'm separated, but they don't say the part where it's a temporary thing. We ain't really gonna break up.
Right. We just moved out and I got this 6-month lease because I might go back home.
Yeah, because
that's not separate.
6-month lease.
I really ain't getting no divorce. That's what I'm really not gonna do, But I'm not gonna tell you that, because
if he get right, then I'm gonna go back home. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. That part. But and I love it, because when you start being fully transparent, when you start being fully honest, then you get the results that you really want to experience in your life anyway. And that way you don't harm yourself and you don't harm other people in the process. So whatever you're trying to do, whatever journey you're attempting to take, don't bring people into dramatics that could cause them problems or bring harm to them because you want to be selfish. That's the bottom line.
So the person that was separated didn't disclose this, or they did tell the person that they were?
No, they were saying that I feel single, so can I say that I'm single while pursuing a new relationship? Yeah, so they were playing.
Okay.
Yeah, they felt single, but your feelings ain't got nothing to do with that paperwork that says Mr. or Mrs. whatever.
Right.
And you don't know what somebody would accept if you're just honest with them. Some people will walk with that way with you anyway.
True. Wow. Very true. Very true. Well, we are at the top of the hour. We really could go real much further into this, but we're gonna let y'all go tonight. We got some good people here on the East Coast, and we definitely don't want to prolong the time, but we will see you all back in the saddle again on next week. Who knows? We might continue with these DMs, because I got a whole bunch.
Going down in the DMs.
I got a whole bunch of questions that have still yet to be answered. Okay. Whole bunch of questions. All right, guys. So until next time, grace, peace, and blessings. Thank you to all of our panelists. Welcome, Charles Dixon. We ain't see he been in the
all right. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all.
Building for like 2 years or something. He just coming out. I started to sing Diana Ross. I'm coming. It was cause for a song, So welcome, Charles. It's so good to have you with us, Charles. We appreciate you being on with us tonight. Dope conversation. Hey guys, as soon as we log off, each of the thought leaders that were on the panel tonight are going to put their information inside the chat for you to be able to connect with them on your own time and get ready to holler at them. Toxic Tamika came in hot tonight. She got the whole family vibe over there. She still came to hang out with us. So big ups to Mitchell. And Charles Dixon is in the building. Of course, yours truly. All right, guys. Until next time, grace, peace, and blessings. We'll see you next week on the hot seat.
Have a good